I got 2 out of 3 right, or I got 1 out of 3 wrong. So hello, welcome to the vlog. It's Saturday morning here in Yaitsa, and in an hour I'm supposed to be on the road down to Mostar to do guitar workshop tonight, and then I'm preaching in church tomorrow. This is the road, so I'm just coming down here just to even check how it is. It's not that bad. As you can see, there is a little bit of snow on the van. We should try and get as much of that off as we can before we leave. It's not super easy to get a sense of scale, but that's my hand span. That's the snowfall. It's Sunday morning in Mostar now. Have a look at that. There's still snow on the roof of the combi. Yesterday, when I was about to leave Yaitsa, I had 3 thoughts about the journey, and I got 2 out of 3 right, or I got 1 out of 3 wrong. The last thought was, once I get down towards Herzegovina, it will only be raining, it won't be snowing, and the roads will be fine. That was correct thought. The second was Maklen, which is a big mountain in the middle, which is a thing that people in Herzegovina are scared of, if we're honest, about travelling north in winter. Oh, don't go over Maklen. They have a station at the top of that where they keep the grit and they have lorries, and I'm like, they will have cleared. This is the second day it snowed. They'll have got out there and got it cleared. And I was correct about that. But the third thing was, right, I'm going to take a walk down our little road just to check that that's passable, and then if the road at the bottom, that's like a semi-main road in town, if that's pretty clearish, that's a good indication that driving out of town, you know, they'd have done a reasonable job on the roads. About that, I was wrong, and from Yaitsa to Kornivakov was really poor. Anyway, that's not really all the point of this vlog, although I guess it is kind of interesting, the amount of snow. And like last night when we got to the end, Claire had been running a youth session in the church while I was doing the guitar workshop, going, oh, my young people are really excited to go and make snowballs with the snow off your combi. I'm like, go for it. I thought I'd cleared the roof, but there was so much snow that even when I thought, well, that's basically it left a snowball fights amount of snow on the top. The young people in Mostar who rarely get to see snow, so yeah, that's nice for them. Having said that, there is a dusting of snow right up there on the top of the mountains, but it is super rare that any gets down here into the town. So this is another one of those not my finest vlogs. It's 1:15 on Sunday. I'm sitting here in Mostar, just finished church here in Brankovac. I was playing guitar this morning and I was preaching, and it all went well, which is nice. And now it is time to hit the road and hopefully in 3.5 hours get back. It took me 4 hours on the way down. Normal weather would be 3 hours. If we can do it in 3.5, I'll be happy. But the main thing is, of course, to get back safely, and hope that the roads are in a better state than they were yesterday when I came down. So I'm an hour and a half into my drive back. I might even be halfway there. Back there is one of my favourite views. We didn't stop there mainly because there's too much snow, like you can see on the side of the road there, to get into the lay-by, and also because there isn't a view because there's too much cloud. Anyway, I thought I'd try and say some sensible things about what happened in Mostar this weekend. So I was in Mostar. I got asked to go and speak at the church in Brankovac a few months back, probably back in the summer. It was like sometime this autumn, and it ended up that it was the end of November was the best time. So I was always coming down on this weekend, and then a couple of months ago I kind of had this thought, oh, maybe I know a few people around there who play guitar in church and doing that. Maybe it'd be good to offer some kind of workshop for people, just help people sort of expand their musical horizons a little bit. If you know anything about playing guitar, you know it's easy to play the basic chords, you know, but sometimes you get stuck in the same cycle of playing the same thing the same way over and over. And there are different ways to approach stuff that can make stuff easier. And a lot of the motivation was about how can we make stuff easier for people and give them a greater sense of self-confidence when they're playing guitar in front of people, and particularly if you're going to play in church and lead singing and stuff like that, you're thinking about a lot of things, and so the easier you can make the guitar playing part, the better. So a bunch of people thought that was a good idea and were up for it, and so that's what we did last night, and it was really nice. Had a really good time, half a dozen people there, and went through a whole bunch of different stuff, and maybe that leads to something more. Maybe we revisit that in the new year, but that was good. And then down this morning, speaking in the church, and that was good fun, good experience, and the feedback I got was all positive. So yeah, and now I'm driving home. So far so good. This is a lot cleaner than it was the other day, and we hope that the rest of the road is similarly clear. So last thing I'm going to say before I jump back in the combi, really interesting, like you don't get that much snow down around Mostar, and driving back the main road from Mostar to Jablanica, looking at the mountains, I don't, because I'm not down there either, I don't get to see them snow covered that often, and we should say snow dusted rather than covered, but this contrast of the kind of the rock and the snow and the trees really makes the landscape jump out in a way, gives it some kind of greater contrast than usual. So I did have the GoPro set up in the combi to capture a few bits of that, which it never looks as dramatic on the GoPro footage because the wide angle in it kind of makes it seem more distant. But as the sun came out a little bit on that part of the journey coming back, it really yeah, excellent views. Very much enjoyed that. So it's cold, I'm not wearing enough clothes to be out here like this, so I'm going to jump back in the van and get on the road, get home, put my feet up. So that's it for this week's vlog. Thanks very much for watching. Do give us a big thumbs up for snowy road trip Mostar and back for a weekend for a couple of things. Do leave a comment or question if you want to know more, and do remember, together we do adventure. We'll see you next time.